Okay, let's move on to interest. We know that debt is leverage, money is work, cash is stored work, cash is king, but cash is also stored work. And now we're going to talk about interest. When we think about interest, it's the amount we pay as a fee for borrowing money. So interest is what lenders ask in exchange for not being able to use their own stored work. It can be paid at different frequencies, obviously. And once you earn interest, it begins earning interest or additional interest. So your interest can earn you interest. We've all had savings accounts. We put our money into our savings account. What does the bank tell us? It says it's compounded daily. And compounded daily means you're going to interest paid on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, the interest that you got paid on Tuesday begins earning interest for Wednesday. And so it's compounded on a regular basis. Once you have interest, it starts earning interest on top of interest. And interest on top of interest is a wonderful thing if you're getting paid, if it's getting paid to you. On the other hand, if you're paying it, it's not as wonderful a thing. So interest or compound interest is awesome for investments. It's definitely how you build money, and it's very important to the time value of money. We're going to talk a lot about interest. Now, or interest, can be termed many different things. It'll be rate of return, interest rates, and so on. So the interest rate that we're talking about here is the amount of money on an investment, the return on an investment, the interest on an investment. They use lots of different terms for that, so don't get thrown by the terms. It's definitely the percentage change in the investment. So let's talk about compounding, and which would you rather have, compounded daily or compounded monthly? Well, as I alluded to, it depends on who you are. Compounding interest is essentially money making you more money. The more often it happens, the more interest is paid. If you're receiving interest, shorter is better. If you're receiving the money, compounded daily is awesome. You're compounded the minute you pay me interest, you start paying me interest again. I like that. That sounds good because you're paying me. Well, now if I'm paying you, if I'm the bank, that doesn't sound so good. So I don't want to pay compound interest. If I'm paying interest, the further the better. So it depends on who you are, whether compound interest is good or not. In most people's opinion, if your investment is compounding more often, more frequently, it's a good thing. So compounding is just how often the interest begins to collect and starting to pay interest on top of interest. So compounding is interest, paying on top, interest on top of interest, and so the more frequent, the better it is for the receiver, and of course the worse it is for the person who's paying it. So let's take that into the next section and look at some numbers.